This is Late Night Health. This is the radio show that cares about the most important part of your life, your health. During the next hour, the insane Daryl Wayne and I are going to take a look at a couple of things that I think touch each and every one of us. Now, during the second part of our show, we're going to kind of sidestep health a little bit as we talk about nuclear energy and is it safe, and how nuclear energy can provide power to hospitals and other places that need it all the time. So we'll find out more about that during the second part of our show. Right now we go to Minneapolis. We're going to speak with Dr. Dan Cohen. He's a neurologist and sleep technology expert. You remember the Breathe Right nasal strips? They're still available. And Dan invented those. And we welcome him to Late Night Health. Dr. Cohen, welcome.
Well, thank you, Mark.
So you have, let's talk about sleep, and then you have some new technology, I think, to help us sleep. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Do most people sleep well?
Actually, no, and it's getting worse. There's sort of an epidemic of poor sleep that's really associated with increase in stress. So I don't have to tell you or your audience that life is becoming more and more stressful. And as a result, sleep is becoming more and more difficult.
Do you sleep 8 hours, 9 hours a night?
You know, I don't think I ever did, except when I was a kid. And going through medical school and medical training, you sort of train yourself out of sleep. So I was generally a short sleeper, typically sleeping maybe 6 to 7 hours on my typical nights.
Well, do you see patients today or not?
No,
you don't.
I don't. I went from my residency when I became a neurologist. Frankly, back in those days, there wasn't a lot you could do for most of those patients. So I decided to go into product development, and I figured I would help that way.
And you have. My wife bought me some of those strips, the Breathe Right, and for a while they worked. I'm curious though. We're supposed to sleep 8, 9 hours a night, and as I get older, I wake up not necessarily to go to the men's room. I do that too, but not 6 or 7 times. Like I have a friend who sleeps 20 minutes at a time, and then he gets up and goes. He doesn't sleep well at all, obviously. But I wake up thinking, gee, I have to do this. I didn't do that. And the stress of life gets to me. And that's common.
That's very common, particularly as we age. Now, there's something that happens with age and sleep that is very deleterious, and most people don't recognize it. Our deepest stage of sleep, which is called delta sleep or slow wave sleep, and that's because the brain waves are very, very slow because the brain is really knocked out at that point. Okay, but that's a healthy state, and frankly, that level of sleep, delta sleep, is the most important stage of sleep because so many good things happen. But as we age, we lose that delta sleep. And so even by the time you're in your mid to late 40s, you've already lost 60 to 70% of delta sleep.
How do you get it back?
That's the mystery, but we've found with our technology that it can be restored.
All right, do humans in general need 8 hours plus of sleep a night? That's a third of the day.
Yeah, I would say no. I mean, there have been numerous studies done that were long-term longitudinal studies over 20 to 30 years on literally tens of thousands of subjects. And what was shown was that you really run into problems with increase in disease when you sleep less than 6 hours per night. So the question is, how much sleep do you really need? People like to preach 7, 8 hours. And I think if you're measuring time in bed, that's probably reasonably accurate. Because let's say you go to sleep at 11 o'clock at night, you wake up at 7, so that's 8 hours. Chances are you were awake about an hour during that. So it really means that you were sleeping maybe 6 to 7 hours if you're in bed 7 to 8 hours. So I think that's safe.
But at the same time, as we age, I have so many things that I want to do, I want to accomplish. And I think, most modern people say over the age of 50, I've got gray hairs to prove that, that we want to do more, that we're not the 50-year-old of yesterday. We're not father knows best who comes home and still wears a shirt and tie at dinner.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Right?
No, I mean, I think there's a lot of us that are like you. Okay. I suffer from the same issues. Okay. and the question is, am I going to be more productive if I do get a good night's sleep? And therefore I can accomplish more. And I think a lot of it is around productivity. But let me tell you another secret. If you regain your deep sleep, you don't need as much sleep because you're getting that deep restorative sleep. So I found that as I regained my deep sleep, I didn't sleep less than I was sleeping because I had lost my deep sleep and I didn't have our technology. And so my sleep had deteriorated to only 3 to 4 hours a night. But now I found, with really good deep sleep, I do very well with 6 hours.
I would love 6 hours of deep sleep a night. You've created some new technology, and people can go and learn about it at, and I'm going to hope I pronounce this right, soltechhealth.com. And
Correct.
that's soltechhealth.com, health.com. And with that, can I get into that deep sleep even at a senior age?
Well, I'm 71, so I think I might be more senior than you. The bottom line is, before I started with this technology, I was getting about 20 minutes of deep sleep, of delta sleep. And normally what you'd like to get, as a young adult is about between an hour and a half and 2 hours of deep sleep. Now I average about an hour and a half of deep sleep. And so you can get there, but we found nothing other than our technology to do that.
I want to talk about, technology and machines. Every night, if you're watching TV, you see clean your sleep apnea machine. We have a new sleep apnea machine. Get rid of your old sleep apnea machine. And, I've seen them and they go, they're making all these noises which would make my wife nuts, and I'd be sleeping in another room, which would be a lot colder than where I'm sleeping now. Does technology require noise?
No. And our technology is not for sleep apnea. Okay. It can be used for people that have sleep apnea, but it does not treat sleep apnea. Okay. That's a different technology completely.
Neurologist and inventor, Dr. Dan Cohen, is our guest. He's a diplomat of the American Board of Psychiatry, which is good. He can tell us that we're nuts because we're in radio. And he's also a neurologist. He holds many patents related to EEG and sleep analysis. We're going to continue our conversation in just a couple of moments. And you can visit him at soltechhealth.com, and you can visit us at latenighthealth.com. We'll have a pretty picture of Dr. Dan up there, as well as a link to the soltechhealth.com website. Don't go away as Late Night Health continues. Late Night Health is proud of our partnership with the EBC, the Evolutionary Business Council. Check them out at ebcouncil.com.
You're listening to Late Night Health with Mark Allen. The show continues in a moment.
Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the charge and go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com.
If you're listening to Late Night Health right now, you're part of the growing target of baby boomers we're serving. Hi, I'm Daryl Wayne, producer of Late Night Health, inviting you to join the Late Night Health family. If you have any business targeting the growing boomer market, Late Night Health is the ideal advertising vehicle for you. From vitamins to insurance, alternative health to Western-style medicine, Late Night Health caters to the growing population of those over 40 years old. This vibrant demographic has expendable income to fight aging, purchase travel, take care of aging parents, or just have fun. Find out about the advertising opportunities with Late Night Health. Call us at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308, or email us at info@latenighthealth.com. That's info@latenighthealth.com. Join Late Night Health as we empower people to take charge of their own health care. Call now at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Words are a critical aspect of success. How you get your point across is a crucial part of what makes anything sell. So do it right and hire a writer. Whether it's articles, blog posts, technical writings, website content, product descriptions, or ghostwriting anything from a novel to a nonfiction book about your navel, contact Servet Hassan. If you want it to sell, write it right. Email Servet at servet@servethassan.com.
It's time to tackle a tough topic, one that affects us all. We're talking about sexism in the workplace. The award-winning Identifying the Elephant in the Room series is back and ready to tackle some complicated communications issues again. This spring, we're focusing on critical communication strategies in the face of sexism. Join us as we hear from professionals in the natural products industry who have valuable career lessons to share and real-world experience to discuss from all sides of the elephant. It's time to have an honest and open conversation about the impact of sexism in the workplace and how we can make it better for everyone. Identifying the Elephant in the Room series starts March 16th. Register today at inicibox.vfairs.com. That's INICIBOX.VFAIRS.com, and join the conversation to be part of the solution. Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Neither one of us are champion sleepers. What do you think you get a night? 4 or 5?
Not that much anymore. Yeah.
Wow.
It was years ago. It was acid reflux that sort of kept me up, but we had that pretty much solved, and now it's Parkinson's. So, shake and wake and wake and shake.
Wow. And do you have to get up to take meds
every 3 hours?
Wow. But that's got to interrupt sleep itself.
Oh, it doesn't interrupt sleep. It's when the pills wear off, that will interrupt your sleep because you start shaking like a milk machine.
And that's got to be not only hard on the body, but on the mind, doctor?
Yes, it is. Some more than others, though.
Got it. Let's talk about the technology that you've developed with Soltech Z. It's an app, and is it also hardware as well?
Yes, actually, it's an entire system. So we have a magnetic generator that goes underneath the bed, typically, and we have a wearable, and the wearable measures your sleep in real time and it determines which stage of sleep you're in, and then it tells the generator which frequencies to produce. So we call it real-time sleep stage enhancement. So when you're moving towards deep sleep, then it sends the frequencies that will enhance deep sleep. And it does the same thing for dream sleep. So it's an active system, but in addition, it's further personalized because your frequencies to enhance delta sleep may be a little bit different than mine. And so during the beginning, it'll do a calibration to determine what are the best frequencies for you. And then those are the frequencies it will deliver.
Does it require medical help to set up? Is it easy to set up? Can even somebody who's technically challenged set it up?
Yes, it's a consumer product, so we've made it that way, and so it basically it's not that complicated because you basically set up the wearable like you would any other wrist wearable, and then the generator you don't have to do anything but plug it in, and the wearable tells the generator what to do, and then in the morning when you end the system, the wearable sends the information to your app, to your phone or iPad or whatever, and then it displays the results, and then it also sends it up to the cloud, so there's a cloud-based database where it's stored as well.
And you could send that to your doc.
You could. You could send, and actually, there's a lot of ways to get information to your doc from the app, and we'll also be coming out with a monthly report that you could send him. So, and it has all the trended information, so you could see how you've been doing over the past week, month, quarter, year.
One of the things that, again, going back to advertising, you see prescription and non-prescription OTC, over-the-counter drugs advertised to help you sleep. One, how do you feel about those? And two, will Soltec Z say, hey, get off that crap?
That's an excellent question. I mean, there's been a tremendous amount of research done on prescription sleeping pills, which are the strongest. And I think you have to realize that they do not produce normal sleep. Okay? They're like a sedative. So they act on what's called the cerebrum, the cerebral cortex. And that's not the area that actually produces sleep. Most people don't realize it. They look at our big brains and they say, oh, that's where sleep comes from. But it's actually a primitive part of the brain that controls sleep. And that's why, reptiles, for instance, sleep like we do. Okay, they have deep sleep, like delta sleep. They have dream sleep, but they don't have a cerebrum or a cerebral cortex. But it's been measured that they have similar sleep patterns as we do.
Wow.
And that's really important because those sleeping pills do not act on the centers that produce normal sleep. Our technology does act on that part of the brain that produces normal sleep. And we've proven that in the sleep lab. But more importantly, the problems with sleeping pills are numerous. I mean, for instance, there was a study done by an investigator not too far from you, Daniel Kripke, University of California in San Diego. Mm-hmm. He studied thousands of cases on sleeping pills, and he found that the death rate over 2.5 years was 4.6 times higher in those people on sleeping pills than not. He also found that the rate of cancer was 30 to 40 times greater. And,
oh my!
And the level of other side effects are very, very significant with sleeping pills, like daytime grogginess, which then can result in driving accidents and death. In addition to a number of other side effects that are less lethal, let's say. And also, it's been shown that sleeping pills don't help that much. That's the other thing that most people don't realize. The most benefit you get from a sleeping pill is they'll help you fall asleep faster. But otherwise, any difference in sleep is negligible. And, remember how we talked about delta sleep and its importance? Okay. Sleeping pills do not promote delta sleep. They do
Wow.
not increase delta sleep. They only produce what's called light sleep, which is not nearly as restorative, because delta sleep is responsible for cell regeneration, cell growth, even DNA repair. It helps prevent Alzheimer's disease, obesity, diabetes.
And anybody over the age of 40 is concerned about Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. I went with a walk with a neighbor the other day. He's in his early 60s and has lost the command of the English language. I mean, it's sad.
Yes.
And I was thinking about one of the drugs, and I think it's still available. You can take this stuff, wake up, go to Denny's, have a full meal at 2 a.m, kill somebody, come home, and not remember any of it.
That's right. That's a side effect of a number of these sleeping pills. Absolutely.
So it would seem to me that Soltec Z would be the way to go.
Yeah. I mean, we've shown that this is very effective, and it does not produce, to our knowledge, any side effects.
Which is, that's what we're looking for here at Late Night Health. Let's talk about how to get this. It's not cheap.
No, it isn't.
And is it covered by insurance? Come
No,
on,
'cause
Medicare, get off your butts.
Yes.
Right.
You tell them.
They also don't cover orthotics, which is stupid. Anyway, and you would think that sleep being an important part of life, especially for a senior, right, with that loss of delta, that this would be something that would be great. So we only have about a minute left. What's going to come with Soltec Z? In other words, what are you going to? What's the next? The Soltec Z version 2.
Yeah, there will be more that comes with it. We're actually investigating a number of medical issues that this will treat, this technology. And so, for instance, we've done some studies on diabetic peripheral neuropathy, which looks very, very promising. It worked in all the cases we tested.
And what about anxiety?
Oh, well, there's a separate part of the app that deals specifically with stress reduction.
Listen, we're out of time. Will you come back? Can we come back?
I'd be happy to.
Well, I hope you had a good time. Our guest is Dr. Dan Cohen, and you can find out more about him at soltechhealth.com. That's soltechhealth.com. And anybody who thinks I look young is always welcome to come back to the show. I really appreciate that. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Don't go away. There's more coming up. Visit us at latenighthealth.com. That's latenighthealth.com. Lots going on over there. And, of course, in a couple of weeks, Daryl Wayne will be joining me on Mark Allen Cooks. Anyway, we'll be back.